But our ideal goal is to then give them the words, give them the tips, the mindsets, etc. And so that's where I'd love to go to now. So hi, everybody. Grady Polson. Welcome to the America Agency. Let's go. We got Nick up to 4 policies. Story continue to ramp up. Now you're a $40K a month producer at 340, going to end the year at 400,000 issue paid and hit Hall of Fame. Speaking in existence, Nick. I'm speaking in existence. This is what's going to happen, right?
Absolutely.
So in that mindset, let's go into, like, if I'm a new agent or you're talking to these hundreds of people or you're new agents, run them through mindset, leads, and we'll get into script. But, like, let's talk about your weekly dialing mindset, how you approach your week, how you time block your day, and then the leads that you're running, and then, your approach to them.
Yeah. So I show up to the office every day, 8 a.m., non-negotiable. I personally myself, I wake up every day at 5:45 and go to the gym, get my mind right, get my body right. Your body is your business. So I try and control whatever I can control and put myself in the best position to have an amazing day. So get to the office by 8 a.m. and then 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. I'm doing an income producing activity. So that's either posting on social media, hitting people up in DMs, or there's a lot of times where I just get to the office and by 8:10, 8:15, I'm dialing. That's a great time. People start getting calls in at 9 a.m. I want to be ahead of the game and, start my day early with a bang. So that's what I do. Usually dial from 8:15 a.m. to usually around, 1:30, 2 o'clock consistently. I'll have lunch for a little bit.
How many presentations do you think you'll get in there off a new batch of leads? Like, what is your goal? Like, at 2 o'clock, you're either like, hell yeah, this was a good day. Or, if you made a sale, obviously make 2, 3, but let's go with averages, right? Because we want to have rules or averages that people then can aim for, and then ideally exceed. So in that sort of 5-hour block of time, what is your goals in there?
Yeah. So my goal is to have
the goal is not just dial, right? It's not just dial. The goal is to connect with people, right? People are like, I'm just dialing. No, dude, you're just sitting here doodling. Like, dial like crazy. Dial the phone. Try to get a hold of people as fast as possible. So, but what's your approach?
Yeah. So my goal is to have at least 1 to 2 sales by 2 o'clock. If not, I will go ahead, recharge, get my mindset right, and then ready to go by 2:45, 3 o'clock. And then from 3 o'clock on to usually about 7 o'clock, I really hit it hard and I just do the same thing over. And in that time period, I'm, checking on my guys that are in the office, making sure that they're on Zoom, making sure that if they need anything, I'm here to help. I want to help people. Like, I love helping families. I love what I do, but I really want to help people change their life and really be successful and get to a level where I'm being and where everyone in our book office is being. Because I remember when all 4 of us, me, Thomas, AJ, and Dom, all started together from the bottom. And now looking back on it, we just actually hit the 2-year mark together in November. All of us, we started at the same time. Looking back on that was such, a short amount of time ago. And now looking toward the future, it's so bright. It's great that we have a bunch of great competitors in the office. There's a great environment and everyone is willing to help each other. No one is selfish, and really leaning on each other for help to bring people up and make people better.
Out of those 4, yourself, Thomas, AJ, and Dom, who sells the most?
Me.
Okay. If Marissa was looking, or I was looking to give an agent or 2 or 5 or 10 to, I'm just saying I would look at the guy that sells the most, because I can then guarantee that he can teach them how to sell the most. So keep going, Nick. We're gonna be talking more, man. This is awesome. So, okay, 8:15 to 1:32, 1 to 2 sales, 2:40. Then you take a break. You eat very fast. 45 minutes. I guess that's an ample amount of time to put down a salad or a sandwich or whatever.
I'm a fast eater, Grady. Hey, it could be like 10 minutes, 5 minutes. So it just depends.
I can eat and dial at the same time, Grady. I can do it all. Then another 1, 2 sales by 7 o'clock. And this is 4, 5, 6, 7 days a week. What's your average, right? And then people can extrapolate that I didn't hit my goals. I'm dialing Saturday. I'm dialing Saturday night. I'm dialing Sunday, right? Saturdays and Sundays for people just getting started. If you're trying to break free from your job and get out of your career and get into your dream, build your business, you're going to have to work the weekends to get started because that's the only time you have. You've got to work your job to make you're getting your paycheck. But good news is the weekends, people are home. They're happy. They got paid on Friday. And they generally they answer the phone a heck of a lot more. But I'm talking about Nick right now. What is your ideal week?
Yeah, so I'm hitting it extremely hard Monday to Friday. To be honest with you, I haven't really worked that much on Saturdays unless I have some appointments. I will call my appointments that are on my calendar. But, I'm going to really, focus and lock in here, finishing the year off strong and include Saturdays within my routine because it's a great day, like you said, to call people. I've had a lot of success on Saturdays in the beginning and moving forward. And it's just a wonderful day that if you're not hitting your goals, it's a great day to make your week in that one day. That's the great thing about this business is you can make your week in one day. You can make your month in 1 week. So that one day that you're at, maybe 1 or 2, 3 grand, and then boom, Saturday comes, you put up 5, 6 grand in one day. Hey, it just went from a bad week to a great week. So it's really, what you put into it is what you'll get out of it. But that's my schedule that works for me. Usually I'm working hard Monday to Friday, take Saturday and Sunday off. That's usually what I do, unless I have appointments.
You're making 300 grand a year. You can do whatever you want, right? But when you're getting started, you got to put an extra time to make up for the time. So let's jump in leads and then scripts because I want everyone to hear the words you say because that's the fun stuff, right? What are the Pompilisms? Pompile, dude. My last name is Polson, and so I empathize with your name because people like Polkine, Pol. I'm like, okay, just call me Grady. But Nick Pompile.
Pompile, yeah, you got it.
Pompile-isms. We'll get to those in a second, but right now let's talk about leads. What leads are you running?
So I'm running veteran final expense leads.
Veteran final expense leads. Okay. And how long have you been running those exclusively?
It has been about 1.5 years.
Just those.
Yep.
You know everything about all branches of the military now, veteran benefits, how much they get, they don't get, die in the line of fire, don't die in the line of fire. They get, all the things.
Yep.
The good news is there's not that many things.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward, and that's like anything, doing something consistently every single day, saying the same things is how you get better. If you could be, have a great month, right? But then you think you have it all known. And then next month you change up your script, or maybe you change up your lead flow or how much you're investing in your business. And then you're right back where square one, so it's being consistent with everything I do every day has allowed me to really just talk with confidence and understand their situation and how I can best help their situation.
What are you investing a week on leads?
I'm investing $2,200 a week on leads.
Okay. And then ballpark submit?
Around 40, 45.
A month?
Yeah.
45K submit a month.
Yep.
Okay. So you're spending about 8,800 and then you're submitting 4,500.
I apologize, Grady. It's actually, I spend 10 grand a month on leads. So 2,500.
Okay.
I'm not a math guy and I don't have my degree. So
hey,
there you go.
The only trick I know is 83 times 12 is 1,000. That's about it for math tricks. So invest in 10K, submitting 45, then you got issued. I mean, you're making good money, man. 10K a week. The daunting thing is 10K a month. What did you start at? Like what were you at from a lead investment back in the first 3 months?
I didn't want to spend like $200 in a week. So that's the thing. Like I remember when I started in this business, I probably had like $3,000 in my bank account. I just got a new car, not maybe like 6 months before that. That was expensive. And yeah, I didn't want to spend, $200, $300, $400 on leads because I wasn't confident that I could even turn that over, and have a good return on it. So I was really scared at first because I didn't have really anything to invest in it. So.
And then progression, time, belief, skill set, knowledge, everything contributed to where you are today, where you spend $120,000 a year on leads, which allows you to gross over 400,000 at minimum, plus bonuses, plus carrier bonuses, plus corporate
Yeah.
producer bonuses, plus the trips I'm sure you're winning, carrier trips. I mean, there's probably another, 50 to 100,000 in income on
Mhm.
top of the 400,000 you're going to issue pay this year.
Yeah, it's
Pretty cool.
crazy, and the bonuses are a huge thing. I mean, America bonus, I've got it the last 2 times hoping for a hat trick, but, it's huge. I think the last bonus I got was like 14,000 or 15,000, and the one before that was 10,000. So
It's huge.
now my bonus I think is at like around like 9,300. So we're needing to bump up 12-month persistency a little bit, a couple points, but yeah, and along with producer bonuses and the trips, it's amazing. That's the great thing about this business is there's no limit on how much money you can make. You'll make as much as you possibly can work and put the time into to make. So
I love it. All right. All right, Nick. It's time for the sauce. Okay. Let's hear the magic words. What is your and I always preface this, and it's just it is a this is what works for him. If you don't have anything that works for you, copy him. Don't overthink this. This business is R&D, rip off and duplicate. If you don't have a script yet, pause this video, rewind, write it down. But Nick, I'd love if you kind of share with us what you say, open a point, however you handle open, taking, I don't want to guide you anymore. I want you to take it away, but your veteran final expense script.
yeah. So I'll be like, hey, Grady. Hey, how's it going, Grady? This is Nick. Was just getting back to you here at the Veterans Life Insurance request that you sent in a little bit ago. How you doing? Good, awesome. Well, I was just the underwriter that was assigned to get this information out to you. So then I would just confirm their information. Just to confirm, Grady had put your email here as the GradyPolson@gmail.com, and that you served in the Army, correct? Awesome. Well, first things first, thank you for your service and God bless. Yep, absolutely. Now, we just specialize in putting protection in place for our veterans to either leave money behind for the family or to cover our final expenses. And that's what you're looking to do as well, correct? Yes. So I see here, Grady, that you put your spouse as the beneficiary and that you don't have any coverage in place as well, correct? Awesome. And then what's your spouse's name, just so I'm not rude? So right there, I start to build the value. I confirm the information that's on in front of me, and I'm building value immediately once I confirm that the spouse is the beneficiary, your children is the beneficiary, friend, family member is the beneficiary. I'm getting their name so that once I ask them, those tough emotional questions, I'm using their name because it's very important. You want to paint the picture. These people don't have life insurance at an older age for a reason. They haven't thought about it, or they've been thinking about it for 60, 70, 80 years. They still don't have any coverage. So my job is to really be the last line of defense and paint that picture of what that would look like if happened to your family, you to leave behind for your family. So Grady, if something were to happen to you, obviously I know your spouse is your beneficiary. What's your spouse's name? Just so I'm not rude. So I'll say that down. So let's say Mary. So like you said, Grady, you just want to make sure that if something were to happen to you whenever that time does come, that your spouse Mary has everything taken care of, correct? Okay. And were you looking into coverage for your spouse, Miss Mary, as well, or just for yourself? So that's, obviously some people like to get husband and wife. That's another great way to help another family out, get another sale. So always ask that question. And then once I listen to their answer, be like, okay, so I completely understand, Grady. Like you said, you just want to make sure that if something were to happen, that your spouse, Mary, has everything taken care of, correct? Just asking a very simple rhetorical question. And if something were to happen to you, Grady, and you didn't have any coverage in place like you don't now, would that be difficult for your spouse, Mary, if she was having to have that burden with no additional help? And I'll just stay silent, let them respond. Okay. So, I completely understand, Grady, why you're looking into this. Like you said, because it would be extremely difficult if something were to happen to you tomorrow and your spouse, Mary, was left with all the problems. You want to make sure that before that time does come, that you have this all taken care of and that you have that peace of mind knowing that your spouse will have enough to cover funeral expenses and have a little bit left over after the funeral as well, correct? Yes. All right. And is this your first time going through this process? And I'll explain to them the process. So just to fill you in, I'll ask you a couple basic medical questions to see what we can get you qualified for within the 30 top A-rated carriers that we do work with for veterans. And then I'll be able to present you with some options, which you would just let me know which option is best for you and is most comfortable to leave behind for your spouse, Mary. And then all we'd have to do is simply submit the application with the carrier to get you approved for the coverage. Does all that make sense? Seem pretty self-explanatory? Awesome. So I do see here, Grady, that you're only 50 years young. And confirm your date of birth for me. All right, write it down. And are you a smoker? And I'll just ask the medical questions. Obviously, based off what they tell me about their health and age, I'm able to pull up which company is going to give them the most coverage for the lowest cost. And that's something that I tell them. So after I get their health information, hey, Grady, to be honest with you, because you're only 50 years young and you're a lot healthier than most veterans I speak with, there should not be any issue getting you approved for day one coverage at the super preferred rate. So that means there's no 2-year waiting period for any of these policies. It's effective once you pay the first premium for the full face amount. As well as this is all whole life coverage. So that means the coverage will never expire, even if you were to live to age 120, which I don't remember any veteran that wanted to live to age 120. But if you did, you would still have this coverage. But the most important part is that the price will never go up. It'll always remain the same. So you won't have to worry about at age 65 or 70, the price going up on you. It'll always be the same as it is here today at 50. Hence why it's obviously a huge benefit. You save a lot of money to get insurance when you're young and healthy like you. Does all that make sense as well, Grady? All right, respond. And then, yeah, and then I will explain to them that we do all the shopping. That way we are able to get the most coverage for the lowest cost. We work with all the top companies. So that way you don't need to talk to a bunch of different people about insurance or getting a bunch of different quotes, which ultimately takes time away from what you want to accomplish, which is protecting your family with the most coverage at the lowest cost, Grady. Does that make sense? Awesome. And then I'll go through some options. The most important part is when I'm going through options, I'll ask, hey, if you've thought about it yet, Grady, were you leaning more towards the cremation or the burial route? Whatever they say. Awesome. The reason I ask is the average burial, Grady, is around 10 to 15,000. So with you obviously only being 50 and you're a lot healthier than most people, you just want to make sure that you can still cover any burial and final expenses now, and obviously also in the future with everything increasing in costs, right? Because I'm sure that you can agree in another, 10, 15, 20 years, the price of a funeral is probably going to be a little bit more expensive than it is today. Would you agree with that as well? Let them respond. Awesome, Grady. So like I said, I do have some options. And when I'm going through the options, I will explain each option and what it does for their family. Remember, you want to paint the picture. So, hey, Grady, I'm going to start you off here with 15,000, 20,000, 25,000. You can let me higher, no, lower, or anywhere in between any of these options, because my job is to do what's most comfortable for you. All right. So to start off, this would be a $15,000 tax-free check that goes directly to your spouse, Mary. This would significantly cover any burial and final expenses now and also in the future. And making sure that your spouse, Mary, has around $5,000 left over after the funeral, maybe to cover some other bills off, flying family members in, transportation, or helping with some loss of income and additional stability. And then I'll go over how much that will cost. So I'm doing that process for every single option. And then once I finish the options, so like I said, Grady, I can go higher, lower, or anywhere in between any of these options. But what option for you do you think is making the most sense and would be the most comfortable to leave behind for your spouse, Mary? And I'll just obviously stop talking and then let them know what is best for them family. And then I'll simply just pull up the application.
Well, that was fantastic to start. Second note, you said my name 152 times. Is that a thing you do throughout your presentation to like just kind of build rapport? You're using their name. I mean, that's a how to win friends and influence people line from Dale Carnegie. No one loves the sound of any other word but the sound of their own name. Is that something you do naturally, or something you do in all your presentations?
Yeah, most of the time. Maybe I won't say it as much as I said here, just because I was giving an example. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I'll do it to grab their attention.
Yes.
You make sure they're listening. If I hear that they're like having a bunch of stuff going on in the background and they're not, really listening to what we're doing and have full, complete focus. Hey, Grady, seems like you're a little bit busy. It seems like you're moving and grooving. When's a better time to give you a call back? Because this is important stuff. Or I'll ask them, hey, Grady, I know that we're going over this information here. Seems like you're a little bit busy. Is this something that's still important to take care of for you and your family or no? And then obviously, if it's not important, sounds good. Bye, hang up. I'm going to go help the next person that's actually taking this serious and not just thinking like this is another sales call.
Yeah.
So really trying to grab their attention, make them feel it, build that rapport and paint the picture.